One morning, she decided to journey to the village where her father was meant to deliver the sculptures. While she was getting ready, she heard the sound of drums getting closer and closer to her house. When she was sure the noise was in her compound, she went out to check, and lo and behold, it was her father standing with a group of people. Chioma's screams alerted her father, and he ran to confirm what she already knew. Her mother had passed away. Adugo died of a broken heart. The next few days were quite depressing. Chioma had never seen her father in that state before. She had always thought her parents did not love each other due to their frequent quarrels, but seeing him so sad changed her entire opinion. Obina refused to sleep, eat, drink, or even leave his hut for days, and Chioma was beginning to get very worried. Several times, she would try to get him to eat something, but he always refused. So one day, she cooked his favorite meal and went to give him in his hut. Papa, I made egusi soup and pounded yam for you, she said to him. Obina cracked a smile and took the food from his daughter, but just before he finished the food, he set it aside and began crying. Destroy all the sculptures. They remind me of my late wife. I don't care if they arrest me. I don't care anymore. Chama was quite confused. What did her father mean by I don't care if they arrest me? She kept asking him what he meant, and Obina finally opened up to her. Before Adugo died, they were contracted to furnish the king's palace of a neighboring village. But Adugo just did half of the sculptures. She died, leaving the job unfinished, and Obina was the sculptor they knew. He had no reason to give on why the project could not be finished. Papa, Chioma said, you know I sculpt very well too. I can easily finish it. Obina looked at his child with gratitude and said, this is the last job we will do. I am tired of posing as the sculptor. He told her that the pay from the job was more than enough to retire them, and Chioma would never have to work a day in her life again. Chioma began working immediately. She had already lost one parent, and she wasn't willing to lose another. Although she wasn't naturally gifted as an artist, watching her mother in the past years helped her to create sculptures just like her. Days turned into weeks, and Chioma finally finished the sculptures for the king's palace, and her father gathered them to take them out for delivery. I'll be back tomorrow morning, he said to his daughter before leaving. But that was a lie. Obina did not come back the next day, or even 3 days after. Chioma was very worried. Several times, she would run outside to check if her father was back, but she was disappointed every time. One morning, she decided to journey to the village where her father was meant to deliver the sculptures. While she was getting ready, she heard the sound of drums getting closer and closer to her house. When she was sure the noise was in her compound, she went out to check, and lo and behold, it was her father standing with a group of people. My daughter, he shouted, come and greet your father's new wife. Chioma looked at the woman, but something else caught her attention. She was also holding a little boy, and it was as if the woman knew that Chioma was looking at the boy. So she said, he's your brother. Come and greet him. Chioma was confused. She waited for the crowd to leave, then pulled her father to the side for a conversation. A new wife? Mama died just 3 months ago. Obina looked at her and said, my child, your father is happy. Don't spoil this for me, he told her. Meanwhile, The king loved the sculptures. You need to make more so we can sell in the marketplace. Chioma was upset. She finally understood her father was heartless. But what he did not know was that his child was not a weakling. She would not be bullied by anyone, not even him. She decided to take a long stroll to think of her next move, and for more than an hour, she kept on walking until she arrived at the seaport. One chance to Umwezwo! One chance to Umwezwo! The boatmaster called out. He came close to Chioma and asked, Are you going? Although she had no plans to travel, she began considering the idea because her best friend moved to Umwezwo a year ago. I'll go and stay with Onyinye for a while to clear my head, she thought to herself. But just as she was about to pay, an old woman interrupted her conversation with the boatmaster. My child, please, can I take your seat? I need to be at Umwezwo tomorrow for my sister's burial. Choma felt pity for her and decided to let her go on the boat. When is the next one to Umwezwo? She asked the boatmaster. Next week, he answered. The boat leaves once a week. But then he pointed at another boat. That one is going to Araka. If you join that one, you can get another boat that will take you to Umwezwo. So Chema did as the man instructed and paid her fee to Araka. And hours later, when the boat sailed away, she knew in her heart that leaving her father was the best decision. After a day, they arrived in Araka and Chioma stepped out of the boat and began looking for the next one to Umwezwo. But she discovered the boat would not be leaving that same day, but the following day. So, she took a walk into the village to find a place to rest her head. On her way, she walked past a man who was staring at her. Suddenly, she stopped and said, Do I know you? Why do you keep staring at me? The man apologized and went on his way. About 20 minutes later, she met another woman who froze when she saw her. Adugo, the woman shouted. Chioma was shocked to hear someone call her mother's name. How do you know my mother? Chioma queried her. Luckily, the woman's hut was close to where they stood, so she dragged Chioma in. When the woman found out Chioma was truly related to Adugo, she said to her, You look so much like your mother. I was her hairdresser. The more she told Chioma about her mother, the more confused she was. Chioma did not know her mother was royalty or that she fled from Araka with her father. All her life, she thought she was from Osi. The woman who was called Ndidi asked her to stay for a while, and Chioma accepted because strangely she felt at home in Araka. Days passed and Chioma heard more stories from Ndidi, and she also began to bond with her son, Tobechuku. Late at night, when people were not able to recognize Chioma, they would take long walks and bond over the simplest things. And in a matter of time, they had already developed feelings for each other. One day, Chioma said to Tobe, I want my people to be free from slavery. Tobe was silent. He knew it was only a matter of time before she brought it up. The king who enslaved us is dead, she continued. His son Nnamdi died in battle, and I've heard that the new king is very kind, she said to him. Chioma was right. King Nnamdi's son, Ifeanyi, was a kind man. I don't think he's kind enough to give Araka away without a fight, Tobe answered. After he said that, they walked back home in silence, but Chioma was not satisfied. So, she went to ask Ndidi for her opinion. Ndidi was very glad Chioma wanted freedom for her people because Chioma was their only hope. In Araka, they had a rule that only a person of royal blood could ascend the throne, which was why King Dozier made sure to kill all members of the royal family to keep them as slaves permanently. So, against Tobe's advice, they began to plan for their freedom. Ndidi alerted some respected people in their community and they held meetings to find the best way forward. Chioma did not want a war. She had a different plan. Over the next 6 months, she would carve sculptures to gift the king of Araka, and every Araka indigene would be required to bring yams from their barns to gift the king. They were going to appeal to the conscience of the king. Tobe thought it was a stupid idea, but Chioma was determined, even if it meant that she might get killed. Once the 6 months elapsed, they were ready to make their presentation to the king. But the night before the presentation, Tobe took Chioma to a corner. "Let's leave Araka. They will kill all of us tomorrow if we make this move." Chioma was quite disappointed that Tobe would say that. She tried to convince him otherwise, but he wasn't having it. So that night, he left Chioma and his mother behind and fled to another village. The day of the presentation came, and the people of Araka marched to the king's palace. The elderly ones held hands, and the younger ones carried the gifts. But when they got there, Chioma recognized the man they called their king. It was the man who stared at her the first time she came into Araka. That day, he had gone unescorted to visit some widows in the village. The Araka indigents presented their gifts, and Chioma began to speak for her people. When she was done speaking, King Ifeanyi was silent for a while, and then he spoke. "I would like to apologize for my grandfather's mistake, and to make up for what he did, I am setting all of you free today." The people cheered in excitement. Although King Ifeanyi never maltreated them, they were happy to not be called slaves anymore in their land. Days later, King Ifeanyi still could not get Chioma off his mind. He had not been able to get her off his mind since the first day he saw her. He also tried several times to locate her, but he couldn't. Ifeanyi was attracted to Chioma. Well, he decided to visit her to tell her how he felt, to tell her that he wanted her as his bride. But when he told her about his feelings, he also suggested something else. "Let's merge our villages," he said. "We will give it a new name and grow in strength and unity together." But Chioma asked him to give her time to think of his offer. She consulted her people, and Ifeanyi did the same thing too, and their people accepted. After all, King Ifeanyi had been kind to them, and even when the Araka people lived as slaves, they were getting married to the people of Amanzi. So it was official. Ifeanyi and Chioma got married, and a new village was formed called Udo, which means peace. So what should have happened between Nnamdi and Adugo years ago found its way to occur in the lives of Ifeanyi and Chioma. Today, I am leaving the floor open. Tell me what you learned from this story, and if it blessed you, please like and share with your loved ones. I also have an announcement. I started another channel for teenagers. On that channel, I share simpler stories with very valuable moral lessons. I'll leave the link in the description for people who want to check it out. But on this channel, I will be posting every Friday by 6 p.m. West African time. So till next time, bye.